the cables in the car. He said, no, he's going on, do what you gonna do. I said, what? He said, rob us. I said, who? He said, me and my mom, him and his mother. And he wound up giving me his Raiders windbreaker, and she wound up giving me her pocketbook. But I told him I don't want nothing from him.
Welcome to another episode of Get Your Life. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on your notifications.
Good morning, everybody. The committee on parole is called to order. Today is Wednesday, March the 12th, 2025, 9:19 a.m. The panel this morning, my name is Cheryl Renata, serving as chair. My colleagues on the committee this morning, sitting to my left is Vice Chair Stephen Prater. To my right is Mr. Pete Freeman. We are at Loyola University this morning, and I want to thank President Cole for having us and hosting us here today. I'd like to thank our folks and our colleagues at Probation and Parole for helping us out today. Thanks for being here. And the students who have chosen to come, and we'll see students in and out all day today, and I'm really excited that they'll get the opportunity to observe our process. We're ready to begin our first case, and that is we will be remotely at Louisiana State Penitentiary. Our staff is at GOC headquarters in Baton Rouge, monitoring the YouTube channel. But I'd like to get the staff and then go. Please introduce yourself for the record.
Darrell Vanoa, I'm the warden.
Rochelle Ambo, Deputy Warden.
Reginald Latimore, classification.
And Jody Sturgeon, Program Consultant.
Thanks, Warden Benoit, for accommodating us this morning. I believe our first case is Mr. Branch. Mr. Branch, is that you?
Me here.
Mr. Branch, would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and your DOC number, please.
My name is George Branch, number 29, 6088.
Good morning. Before we get started, I'd like to recognize some folks that are here with us in the room at Loyola today, who are here in support. We have Hannibal Branch, your brother, Pamela Branch, a sister, niece, Ebony Branch, and family friends, Amy Richard, Sybil Richard, Robert Richard.
Fox. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, I said Richard. And Lisa Finch. And at the appropriate time, we'll ask Amy has indicated she'd like to speak, as well as your brother. First, I'll read some identifying information into the record, Mr. Branch, and then we'll get started on our interview process. Mr. Branch, you are classified as a second felony offender. You're currently serving a 165-year sentence, having been sentenced in Orleans Parish for armed robbery, 4 counts. So count 1, you were sentenced April 29, 1992. For counts 1 and 2, you received a 55-year sentence. For counts 3 and 4, you received a 55-year sentence. And for counts 5, as a habitual offender, a 55-year sentence. So altogether, that's 165 years. It has been determined you were parole eligible in August, on August 23rd, 2016. Then your adjusted good time release date is in September 2102. Is that information correct?
I think it is.
It's okay. So your case was assigned to me, Mr. Branch. So first, before we get started in hearing from those that want to speak on your behalf, we want to hear from you. We want you to tell us what led you to prison, what you do, why do you think you're deserving of parole consideration for an early release?
What do I do?
What did you do?
Oh, it's my,
Why you in prison, Joey?
for armed robbery, like you just mentioned.
Tell me what you did about the armed robbery.
All I know is I went to trial for it. And I think they deliberated about 45 minutes after people took a stand over it came with a verdict saying guilty for all charges. All 5 counts.
They want to know, did you do it, what you're here for? Did you do the armed robbery?
No.
tell them about that.
It seems that I approached these people though. That's in my head, called to my mind. I approached them, but we met each other, and they asked me questions. You know, don't do that. He said their car wouldn't start, and I told him it's not my car. I'm gonna check the trunk to see if there have any cables in the car. He said, "No, he's going on. Do what you gonna do." I said, "What?" He said, "You know, rob us." I said, "Who?" He said, "Me and my mom, him and his mother." And he wound up giving me his Raiders windbreaker, and she wound up giving me her pocketbook. But I told him I don't want nothing from him. I said, "Your son said they got a car won't start, need to jump." She ain't want to hear none of that. She said, "Your son ain't got no money." See, she take care of him. If I got money to give him, give it to her. And I wouldn't give her no money either. I just laughed about
Hey,
it.
Mr. Grant, I'm gonna help you out in a few minutes. I'm just gonna read, I hear what you're saying, we'll read what's in the record. But tell us why you believe after, you're in jail, why do you think you're worthy and rather deserving of a parole consideration for release?
Well, I really didn't want nothing from those people. It seemed I had reasons that we got into it for some type of way. It's 5 counts, 3 robberies. They say count 1 and 2 is supposed to be Jerry River and Denise Sauls. That's supposed to be charges done before. They claim I committed some more robberies the next year, which was about 2 months later. I had been locked up in jail at that time, and they didn't mention to me about anything about armed robbery or anything. So I was released for auto theft that I had. I was released for auto theft. And but during time for auto theft, I didn't get a conviction. They threw it out. They threw the charge out. And the reason why I'm bringing it up that I was talking to these women. It seemed on November 23rd, 1991. But I don't think I really approached them for real though. It seemed I went over there where they were. And she asked me if I wanted her purse. I told her no. I said, I just want you to go in it. She said, "This is her purse. She can go into it if she wants to." So I walked off. And she looked around and saw I had to walk off. And she called me back. So I went back to see what she wanted. She said, "You wanted my purse, right?" I said, "No, I just want you to take the gun out of there." She said, "You wanted my purse." She said, "You're not robbing me. I'm giving it to you." So she wanted to give me her pocketbook and went over to her cousin, the niece, and got the niece pocketbook and brought it to me and said, "Take hers too." But the niece had just told her he didn't ask for mine. I asked for hers either. I asked for hers, but I asked for hers while her back was turned. And she turned around, but she wanted to draw her gun out on me. She had a chance to draw it out because I didn't have a weapon at all. They claim I had a 38 snub nose. These Jerry River did. But I didn't have no weapon.
Mr. Branch.
Yeah.
Mr. Branch, I'm gonna ask Warden Van Oyden to tell us a little bit about your time in prison. So I'd like to hear from Warden Van Oyden.
Okay, how y'all doing today? George has been here, 33 years. He's doing well now. We have Mr. McKay from the mental health. He's taken his medication now for a long time. When he had a lot of adjustment problems. He's only had one write-up in the last 10 years. He doesn't have any programming. He doesn't think he has the educational capacity to do any programming. And, he's on his medication now. And as long as he takes his medication, he does well. And we have Mr. McKay, if y'all like that, talk to him about, the mental health part of it.
If you could hear from him, that would be helpful. Mr. McKay, we realize that in the record reflects a mental health level of fear, 3. Can you explain that to us?
Sure. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Good morning to all that are on the board. My name is Sam McKay. I'm the mental health director here at LSP. Mental health level care 3 is an SMI. He has a severe mental illness, and he is actually being treated successfully at this point in time, as Warden Benoit alluded earlier. He's being treated successfully. He's on a a cocktail of medication which includes Benadryl, Prozac, Haldol, Zyprexa, Triliptol, and propanol. He's doing really well. He's actively taking his medication, and he is complying with all medication. And in addition to that, he is actually doing well. There's no side effects as a result of the medication. So we feel like the regimen as set is successful. And so he is suffering with schizophrenia, and then, which is a lifelong debilitating illness. However, like I said, and as Warden alluded to, he's doing really well at this time. Overall, his prognosis / progress of treatment is good. He's participating fully in all of the assessments and sessions that are afforded to him by both area clinicians as well as the provider team that's involved in his care and case at this moment.
And, I noticed, one of the notes that I did make in my, review of his record was that he does have very little program and more than knowing that he might not have the capacity to do so.
It's the program, education program.
Program. He doesn't think he can do it.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I guess your question specifically to that point is what, ma'am? I'm sorry, I missed it.
In the record, some time ago, he refused substance abuse treatment and other programs. Would you attribute that to his mental illness?
Not directly, but maybe indirectly. Maybe at that point in time, maybe he was not doing so well and not stable at that point in time, which makes it that is very difficult to determine if the information I'm receiving is that that's really being sent to me, or is this something that's going on within me in terms of internal stimuli? That is kind of very consistent with schizophrenia.
And Sam, he says he has trouble waking up in the morning.
Yes. And that could be the medication. Now, he just recently had a medication adjustment, which should have kind of exacerbated those symptoms.
Does he live in general population?
Yes, ma'am. He's in general population at this time.
He lives in Eagle 3.
All right, thank you. So I'm gonna, for the record and for those who are present and watching this, I wanted to just go over a little information and get it into the record. He was talking about his armed robbery. So it's true, he was arrested November 23rd, 1991 for counts 1 and 2. Shortly after midnight, leaving the port of call, two ladies, Geraldine Riviera and Denise Suarez, were walking toward their car in Esplanade. Mr. Branch approached him from behind with a 38 revolver, demanding their purse. They took the car keys and also a 22 that was in the vehicle, along with a 38 that was in the car. I think the 22 was in the handbag. Counts 3 and 4 was, as he indicated, a couple of months later, in January of '92, a lady by the name of Leila King and her son Dwayne were getting in their car. Mr. Branch drove up, got out of his car, pointed a gun at them, at Mrs. King, and demanded her purse. And then the last count 5 was also on that same day. A lady was walking her 12-year-old child to school. They were walking towards Uptown. Mr. Branch drove up, got out of the car, pointed a gun, and demanded all of the money. I mentioned he was a second offender. His first offense was possession of a stolen auto in 1990. So there's quite an extensive juvenile record as well, starting at the age of 10. He had arrests at age 10, 12, 13, 14, 16, the last one at age 16 for 3 counts of murder. He was convicted in that case. He received a 2-year DOC sentence. He was a juvenile. He was released to his mother's custody in 1999. Mr. Branch, do you remember taking the substance abuse, starting out to take the substance abuse class at Angola?
I took anger management through the years.
Good. So
The last time I was at TU, I went a couple of times, but I didn't really go to it like every time they called. I wanted to just live in the cell. but I done been through it already. I had a certificate, but it's been so long. I don't know where the certificate at.
Yeah, I don't have it either. I didn't see it in the record where you finished it, so I don't know that you did. But I'm glad to hear that you completed anger management.
Not the last time that I've been there. That was at TU. I was going since I've been at Camp D, and all of a sudden they stopped calling me. I thought because of my age, I'm old and gray, so I guess they didn't even want to put up with it too much. They think I'm grown, I'm old now.
So how old are you, Mr. Branch?
53,
53. How long?
33 years.
33 years. All right. You know, when we did this, we talked to the people at the prison and asked them how you're doing. And like Warden Benoit says, your prison record says you're improving, you're doing better. And I'm talking about your conduct record. But it also, there's an indication that you need some more programs. You need to take some more of those programs. What would you say to that?
I know I needed programs because I don't have no education. I took education as a juvenile, but I was in LTI, and they said I didn't pass none of the tests, but they gave me the job anyway. They said the state gonna pay me from working. I guess that's what they did. I went on with about
Okay,
maybe about $1,800.
Mr. Branch, if it's okay with you, I'd like to ask some of the folks that are here with us today that want to speak for you. We're going to hear from them right now. All right, we're going to hear from your brother, Hannibal Branch. You want to step up here? I guess.
Morning, bud.
So for the record, sir, just state your name and your relationship to George and tell us what you want us to know.
My name is Hannibal Branch. I'm the
I got it.
younger brother of George Branch. And I'm going to have to speak about the best I can, and y'all can see that he has a mental problem. All his life he's not a trouble. We all been made mistakes since we was young. We grew out and we learned that it was wrong. But in his case, he just have that mental problem where he don't understand. Sometimes he don't remember what he done. He don't remember why he did it. But as for certificates and stuff, the condition he's in now, he wouldn't be able to get any certificates or anything. He can't see himself make go through it. But if it was up on his release or whatever, I see to myself that he had a residence, a job, I go to church. Church taking me in and or mental state, I see a psychiatrist myself. They willing to take him on as well. My mom just passed on last time. We still there. He made it home. And she died right after she realized he was coming up parole. People skilled me for emotional. 32 years is a long time for any, I'm saying? He didn't kill nobody, hurt nobody was injured or nothing. We don't know what happened, but nobody got hurt. He was still wrong for whatever took place, but 32 years, that's a long time. And he, like he said, he don't great. He's honest. Hell, dog by itself is enough to keep you from doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. All of this. Including this a cocktail. That's held off plus. You can't get this. But I take full responsibility if y'all would, finding y'all off the ground of parole. And I would make him up, keep him out of trouble. I was in trouble myself. I got baptized and my mom helped me. And the rest of my family, my friends, I do the same thing. I help a lot of my friends change their life. And that's my brother. So I'll be more forward towards him than anybody. Like I said, 30-something years, I think, he learned his lesson. Anybody will learn this lesson by now. 30-something years. If he didn't learn the lesson, I can't say nothing else, but I'm willing to take full responsibility. I have a 2 bedroom apartment, I'm gonna give a residence and whatever else you might need.
Thank you so much for being here today.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. I'm sorry, I didn't know that you lost your mother last month. I'm sorry that you know.
Thank
You didn't have to do it.
We look alike the next.
Morning. Good morning. Okay, second old my uncle said, and I am willing to house him as well. And I'm a person that's always pushing other people and of course myself, but I help a lot of people do better in life. Basically. They have so many programs out here that he could get the program, whatever program he needs and education he needs out here free. I'm sorry.
you did good, that's no problem. Well, for the record, whoever was offended by my brother, on his behalf, I would like to say sorry for whatever happened, I would like to say that. for the record. It will never happen again.
Amy from the one Renata. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I was gonna let you listen. Good morning, my name is Amy Richard, and I have been, driving to Angola with Mr. Branch's mother for over 10 years. We have become very good friends. And, I met, George several times as we were visiting. I have someone that I visit in Angola. And his mother was visiting him, and often we would be in the same visiting shed. And I've gotten to talk to George several times over the past 10 or so years. I would like to say that he is, in general, a quiet person. So, he's, as you can tell by the way he was representing himself, he's really has a more of a gentle spirit. I will say this, one thing that his mother often said to me that she remembers about her son is that he would always bring her a flower. He would bring her a flower and lay it on her pillow, or bring her a flower and surprise her, even if it was just something picked outside, whatever. And he has a gentle heart. This man has a gentle heart. I don't know the story about the past and all of that. I know who he is now. And after a 2-hour drive to Angola and a 2-hour drive for many, many years with his mother, she has expressed, she told me a little bit about all of these people. She definitely spoke well of her son and that part of his heart that's very kind. And Mr. Hannibal here, who I've also got to know because he has ridden with us to go visit. He has a caretaker heart. He is ready to take his brother in. He told me just the other day, my brother's not leaving the house without me.
becomes home, I'm going to make sure that he stays out of trouble. He will be with them. He will be looked after. Mr. Hannibal has also spoken to his doctor that is willing to take on Mr. George Branch as a patient. I have been reaching out to the doctor this last week to get the letter. I think he's just been busy, but we are looking into making sure that he has proper medical care when he comes home. And I am hoping that 30 years of him being able to reflect on his past is enough time. And that he would be willing to grant him time to be with his family. This was his mother's dying wish. She died very suddenly. We did not know this was going to happen. It has been a really hard time on their family and definitely on George. So I'm asking you to please consider reuniting this family today. Thank you very much. Mr. Rudy here.
My name is John Revere. My wife was Geraldine Revere. She was the victim of the robbery that Mr. Branch committed upon her and Denise Flores to the friend. No offense to you people. Sorry, you didn't know. Sorry, address your comments to the board, please. I'm sorry, I just wanted to let them know it's not the first one. Mr. Branch said my wife gave the first, not true. He got out of a vehicle that was occupied with 2 other men. Put a gun in her stomach, grabbed her purse, both of them. He forced her to a car and he says, "We're going to have a party." The one girl's going to have a good time. My wife told me that needs to witness it. Since then, my wife has passed away. But I always told my wife, never go to a second crime scene. Die in the street, never get in the car, you never survive. And she did. A man walked by with the dog barked. Mr. Branch turned, she fled. That's what saved her life. If she would have gotten that car, I know she would have been raped, maybe even murdered. They might not want to hear that, but that's the facts. She was very fortunate. She was never the same after that. It was a very devastating thing. Not only that was bad. That was the worst thing. But I lost the car, hitting with New York, movie, insurance, it was a lot. She went to trial. It was devastating. It was over on me and my family. He's not telling the truth about it. He put it back. He took her purse, took her car, he crashed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Neill. Any other questions? We have, Suarez has also voiced opposition. Victim in the count 3 and 4, Ms. Lillian King, she has instances. And Julia from count 5 says she was unopposed to the law consideration.
Move that we go into an executive session.
Motion.
Thank
And second, that opposition will be in executive session. Just a few minutes to discuss confidential matters, so stand by with the public.
I make a motion that we return from executive session. Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Freeman, second by Mr. Prater to return from executive session. Without objection, we will be in regular session at 9:51 a.m. Mr. Branch. We are prepared to vote, Mr. Branch, and I'll be voting first. I've listened to what everybody's had to say today, particularly Mr. McKay, who's been working with you. You know, and I do applaud that you have your prison has improved in the past 10 years, as more than Roy has said. It's gotten significantly better in terms of your conduct record. I have to tell you, and those who are here today, there was an act passed in 2024, it's Act 11 of the 2024 legislative session, that currently makes Mr. Branch eligible for parole consideration due to some lack of program. He lacks the pre-release program that is required by that act, substance abuse, education, or treatment that's required, and some educational understanding of medication limitations. Even though he is a low risk, I'm going to have to deny his parole today based on Act 24 and ineligibility. But I will say that Mr. Branch is, he says it's old. I think he's at 53, he's young enough to take advantage of those program opportunities as they're made available to him. And he will have an opportunity to come back before a parole panel once he's got some programming under his belt. But today, like in those programs, I think it could be a public safety risk if he doesn't get those. So my vote today is to deny parole. Mr. Faber.
I concur.
Mr. Freeman.
I concur.
All right, Mr. Branch, you've got some work to do, sir. I hope we get to see you again soon. Good luck to you.
Okay.
Make it to the court.
All right.
Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel and turn on your notifications so that you know when I post the next video. Thanks for watching.